Sarah Kim had been stocking shelves at FreshMart for 3 years, always noticing the same customers, the same routines, the same patterns. But on Tuesday morning, she noticed something different. A man buying specific items: fertilizer, diesel fuel, pressure cookers, and cell phone components, items that separately meant nothing. Together, they meant everything. Because before Sarah organized grocery aisles, she analyzed terrorist networks for the CIA. Welcome to Silent Warriors. Before we continue with this incredible story of analysis, awareness, and hidden warriors, tell me in the comments from which city you're watching today. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be told, hit that subscribe button. We're revealing the stories of silent warriors among us. But before we dive into that threat analysis, you need to understand who Sarah Kim really was. Because the grocery store cashier in the blue vest wasn't who she appeared to be. Sarah Kim embodied the perfect grocery store employee profile: 34 years old, reliable, quiet. She'd worked at FreshMart in Portland for 3 years, scanning barcodes, making polite conversation with customers, doing inventory on weekends. Customers knew her as Sarah. That's all her name tag revealed. Smiling, helpful, never complaining. Store manager Mike saw her as the perfect employee. But Sarah had a different quality: the ability to recognize patterns. Who came on which days, what they bought, how they behaved. This wasn't just good customer service. This was behavioral analysis training she'd learned during 8 years at the CIA. Before Sarah Kim was a grocery cashier, she was Specialist Kim, Central Intelligence Agency Counter-Terrorism Analysis Division. From Langley to Afghanistan, she'd analyzed terror networks, tracked bomb-making supply chains, and decoded terrorist financing models. Sarah had left intelligence work behind to transition to civilian life, but analytical thinking never left. If her colleagues at FreshMart knew Sarah's background, they'd understand why she read customer behavior so well. A grocery store was like a simple pattern system compared to global terror networks. Sarah's real expertise was threat assessment, early threat identification, pattern analysis, risk evaluation. At the CIA, her most valuable trait was recognizing abnormal patterns hidden behind seemingly normal situations. On Tuesday morning, March 21st, Sarah began her normal shift routine. 7 a.m., checkout counter number 3. Regular customers: Mrs. Chen, eggs and milk every Tuesday; David Martinez, coffee and sandwich; Emily Foster, organic vegetables. At 9:32 a.m., when Marcus Torres entered FreshMart, Sarah's CIA training would start sounding alarms. Marcus Torres looked normal at first glance. Late 20s, casually dressed, had a shopping list. But Sarah began observing his behavior. Old habit. First stop, garden section: ammonium nitrate fertilizer, 25-kilogram bag. Normal amount, normal season. But Marcus lifted the fertilizer by hand, testing its weight. This wasn't gardener behavior. Second stop, automotive section: diesel fuel additive, 4-liter container. Again, normal. But Marcus read the label very carefully, checking content information. Sarah's mind automatically switched to analysis mode. Third stop, housewares: pressure cooker, medium size, pressure adjustable. Marcus opened the cooker lid, examined internal capacity, tested the safety valve. Fourth stop, electronics: cell phone accessory stand, starter cables, timer adapters, battery packs. Sarah's pulse quickened. This wasn't a shopping list. This was a bomb-making materials list. Ammonium nitrate plus diesel equals explosive mixture. Pressure cooker equals shrapnel container. Phone components equals remote detonation system. Sarah had seen this pattern before. In Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq. Improvised explosive device, IED supply chain. Sarah mentally conducted threat assessment. This couldn't be coincidence. Marcus's behavior, purchasing pattern, technical knowledge level, all pointed to bomb making. Fifth stop, machine parts: ball bearings, nail packages, steel wire. Shrapnel enhancement materials. Sarah's CIA training kicked in. Surveillance protocol: observe suspect without alerting, gather evidence, communicate with authorities. But Sarah was no longer a CIA agent. She was a grocery cashier. And Marcus was finishing his shopping and coming to her register. Sarah had 2 options: Act like a normal cashier and ignore it. Or become a CIA agent and take action. Sarah decided to become Specialist Kim because some patterns were too dangerous. When Marcus approached checkout 3, Sarah acted like she was doing normal cashier routine. But in her mind, CIA threat analysis protocol was running. "Good morning. Would you like a plastic bag?" Sarah asked in her normal voice. "No, thank you," Marcus replied. His hand was slightly trembling. Stress indicator. Sarah began scanning items one by one. While reading each barcode, she analyzed Marcus's facial expressions. Fertilizer. Marcus showed normal reaction. Diesel. Slight tension, avoiding eye contact. Pressure cooker. Sweating palms, facial micro-expression changes. In the next 5 minutes, Sarah would make 6 critical decisions. 5 would prevent a bombing attack. 1 would expose her own identity. Sarah scanned the phone components. "Do you have a special project for these parts?" she asked like casual conversation. Marcus's answer rang every alarm bell in CIA training. "Yes, a complex electronics project, remote control system. Remote control plus explosive equals remote detonation, threat level maximum." Sarah's mind raced. She had to keep Marcus here, communicate with authorities, but maintain normal cashier duties. "Very interesting. I do electronics hobby too." "What range do these components work?" Sarah asked. Marcus hesitated. "About 1 kilometer range." Sarah's blood froze. 1 kilometer range equals detonation from safe distance equals mass casualty plan. Sarah continued acting normal, but secretly opened her cell phone. SMS. 911. FreshMart. Suspicious activity, potential bomb threat, send EOD. Marcus's total shopping was $347. Normal customers don't buy such diverse materials, especially technical knowledge-requiring combinations. "Will you pay by card or cash?" Sarah asked. "Cash." Marcus's answer eliminated Sarah's last doubts. Cash payment equals no trail equals planned operation. While printing the receipt, Sarah secretly saw Marcus's license plate. Gray Toyota Camry, Washington State plate. She texted this information too. Marcus took his shopping and prepared to leave. Sarah had 30 seconds for her final move. "Sir, excuse me, but fertilizer needs a separate receipt. Agricultural products have special tax code." Sarah lied. Marcus stopped. "How long will it take?" "Just 1 minute. I need manager approval." Sarah signaled her colleague Jennifer. "Jennifer, could you stay with Mr. Torres for a minute? I'll handle the receipt process with the manager." Sarah quickly went to the manager's office, but not to talk with manager Mike, to talk with the 911 operator. "This is Sarah Kim, FreshMart Checkout 3. I sent SMS earlier. Suspicious person still here. Bought bomb-making materials. Need urgent EOD and SWAT. "Ma'am, can you provide identification?" Sarah hesitated. "Former CIA Counter-Terrorism Analysis Division. Clearance code Sierra Alpha 7749. The operator changed tone. "Copy, ma'am. Units dispatched. Keep suspect in location." Sarah returned to checkout. Marcus was still waiting but starting to get nervous. "Sorry, system is slow today. 1 more minute." Sarah acted as normal as possible. 3 minutes later, siren sounds were heard. Marcus's face changed. "Receipt isn't necessary," he said and headed for exit. But Sarah had already signaled Jennifer. Jennifer had accidentally parked a shopping cart near the door. When Marcus reached the exit door, FBI and SWAT teams had surrounded the store. FBI agent Rodriguez spoke with Sarah after the operation. Marcus Torres was arrested, additional bomb-making materials found in his car. "Ms. Kim, how did you know?" Agent Rodriguez asked. Sarah had already shown her CIA identification. Threat pattern analysis, material combination, purchasing behavior, stress indicators. "Where did you learn these skills?" CIA Counter-Terrorism Analysis Division, 8 years, 2012 se 2020. Agent Rodriguez was surprised. "Why are you working as a grocery cashier?" Sarah, it was a long story. Decision to leave CIA, difficulty transitioning to civilian life, appeal of simple work. Because I wanted to analyze, read people, but in a calm environment. Today you prevented a bombing attack. Marcus Torres's target was the downtown festival area, 5,000 people. Explosion was planned for 12:30 p.m. Sarah looked at her watch. 11:47 a.m. If she hadn't stopped Marcus, thousands of people would have died in 43 minutes. Were the materials sufficient? Sarah asked. According to EOD, 50-meter radius damage, 200-plus casualty potential, professional-level device. Sarah was quiet. This was a bigger attack than she'd estimated. Manager Mike joined the conversation. Sarah, were you really at the CIA? Former. Now I'm just a grocery cashier. Today you saved thousands of lives. This isn't normal cashier work. Sarah looked at the customers. They were still doing their normal shopping, unaware of how big a disaster they'd escaped this morning. But there was one more thing Sarah didn't mention, about why she left the CIA. As FBI agent Rodriguez closed his file, he asked, "Why did you leave the CIA? I see excellent performance ratings in your file." Sarah's face hardened. She'd been asking herself this question for 3 years. "Because I didn't want to do remote analysis anymore. I wanted to work face-to-face with people." "But today you did remote analysis and saved thousands of lives." "Yes, but this time I saw the results. I know the people I protected." Agent Rodriguez was silent. "CIA will make a return offer." "Thank you, but I need to think." What Sarah didn't know was that this day would change everything in her life. The following week, special offers began coming to Sarah. Consultant position from FBI, threat analysis specialist from DHS, civilian intelligence coordinator from Portland Police. "Sarah, we need people with your experience," FBI agent Rodriguez explained. "Today you showed that intelligence training can save lives in civilian life." Sarah hesitated. "This means sharing my background, and it means protecting more lives in the future." When making her decision, Sarah talked with her brother James. James knew about her CIA background, but had never asked why she left. "Sarah, I saw you on the news today. It said grocery cashier catches terrorist. What happened?" Sarah told him about that day. Pattern analysis, bomb materials, threat assessment, FBI operation. James listened quietly. Then, "Sarah, you're both a warrior and a protector. At CIA and at the grocery store. I just did my job." "No, Sarah, you did what an analyst does. You recognized patterns and took action." That night, looking in the mirror, Sarah saw herself as both grocery employee and intelligence analyst for the first time in 3 years. Sarah Kim now works as both grocery cashier and DHS civilian threat analysis consultant. She trains retail businesses in the Portland area on suspicious activity recognition. There's a new plaque at FreshMart. March 21st, 2024. Terrorist attack prevented with respect to silent warriors. Sarah still works at the same checkout, but she's no longer hidden. Customers call her Agent Sarah with respect. FBI agent Rodriguez's words always stay with her. "Sarah, you're not just a cashier, you're an analyst, and society needs analysts like you." In recent months, Sarah has detected and reported 4 different suspicious activities. 3 turned out to be false alarms. 1 was a real threat. Each time she applied the same principles: observe, analyze, recognize patterns, take action. 9 minutes. That's how long it took to detect and prevent a bombing attack. That's how long it took for a warrior to activate training hidden in civilian life for years. That's how long it took to prove that real warriors don't always wear uniforms. Sometimes they wear name tags. So I ask you, who are the silent warriors in your community? Who are the people recognizing patterns in daily life, analyzing threats but working in ordinary jobs? Share their stories in the comments. Help us honor the warriors living among us, silently ensuring our security, waiting until the moment the world needs them. Because here at Silent Warriors, we believe the most powerful stories don't belong to battlefields, but to grocery checkout counters and the warriors who protect our safety every day. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, subscribe and share it. Help us prevent these silent warriors from staying silent. And remember, the person working beside you might be the one trained to protect your life.